welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video, whatever made you choose to do so. My name is Faith and I typically post DIY home decor here on YouTube, and today we're doing every bit of that. You guys, fall is right around the corner. I know, I can't believe it. August is almost over and I did not see it coming at all. And this summer, just like within a snap, was gone. So here we are approaching September and fall is coming and I am so excited. This is my favorite time of the year to decorate, to go to events, and to style. Just everything about fall is so exciting. So for this year, I'm going to try to decorate my house a little bit more on the bohemian side, Scandinavian, minimal, natural looking. So today I thought I'd show you 3 boho inspired home decor that you can make for your home to decorate your house for the fall. So without further ado, let's get started. For this first DIY, I'm going to be trying to replicate these braided pumpkins that I saw at Target last year. Now they don't have these available anymore, but they do have ones that are very similar. And recently I went to At Home and I saw that they also have some that are pretty similar to the ones that we're going to be making today. So I took a trip to At Home and I found these braided placemats for $5.99. You'll also need a pumpkin of any size for this project. Now I have this pumpkin that I got from Michael's a couple years ago, but recently I just took a trip to Michael's and I know that they're selling these pumpkins still, so you can take a trip there and purchase one if you don't already have one. So what you want to start doing first is cutting along the outermost edge of your placemat, making sure that you cut the twine. And you're going to have to do a little bit of digging to figure out where the twine is at. Once you get this first outer layer off, it's going to be very easy to unravel the rest of the placemat. So once you have cut all the twine along the outermost layer of the placemat, you can start unraveling it very easily, going all the way around and just start pulling, and each layer should start coming apart. So I decided that I wanted a few strands to wrap completely around the pumpkin. So I started off by cutting out 3 strands to the same length that would go all the way around the pumpkin. Now that I have my strands cut out, I'm going to cut the ends of the strands at an angle to match the natural grooves of the pumpkin. Next, I'm going to take some E6000 glue and some Gorilla Hot glue and glue down each strand. At first, I applied the E6000 glue and then I applied the hot glue on top. Next, I placed the strand onto the natural grooves of the pumpkin and held it there for about 30 to 45 seconds to allow the hot glue to dry completely. Once that was dry, I flipped the pumpkin over and repeated the same steps on the bottom of the pumpkin and then the other side. I started bending the strands to straighten them out a little bit to make it a little bit easier to work with and to wrap them around the pumpkin. Once you are ready to glue down your next strand, you want to try to glue down the strand as close to the other strand as possible. I would put hot glue onto the strand next to it and then squeeze them together. This will help minimize some of the gaps that you may have in between the strands. You may have some spots that you need to re-glue down, which is perfectly fine. You can go ahead and apply some more hot glue to that section and then hold it down. This is what the bottom of my pumpkin looked like after I glued down 3 strands. I chose not to wrap any more strands around the pumpkin. Instead, I'm going to cut out each strand to the length of one side of the pumpkin and individually glue them down on the natural grooves of the pumpkin. Please be careful as you are applying the hot glue because it's very hot and you can burn your fingers. I would recommend you wear a heat protectant glove just to protect you from burning your fingers. As you can see, I had some gaps in between the strands, so I took some of the scraps that I had and used them to fill up the gaps. Okay, so once you have everything on there, you should have something that looks like this. And again, I only used not even one. I still have a little bit of the placemat left. So you will see that there are some hot glue peelings lingering around. So you can go ahead and take those off. So I decided not to glue the placemat to the top of the pumpkin because I wanted it to have a different look. So instead, I took some mulch from my backyard and used those to glue onto the top. And then I wrapped some raffia that I had and glued that to the top of the pumpkin as well with some hot glue. You guys, this next DIY just might be my favorite one yet. These half circle, half moon decor items have been really in style. A very popular one is the half circle with the yarn hanging from the ends. So I was scrolling through Pinterest and I saw this half moon shaped wooden wall hanging, but it had wheat coming from the end. And I thought that that would be the perfect decor item to make for fall because wheat is very commonly used throughout the fall and kind of going with the style that I wanted to do this season. So I knew right away that I had to make it. So that is the DIY that we're going to be making now. So let's get started. I took a trip to Hobby Lobby and picked up these 10-inch wood circles. While I was at Hobby Lobby, I also picked up an embroidery hoop. And I'll be using this to put on the outside rim of our wall hanging so that it can have something to hang on and not just sit flush to the wall. Next, you'll need some wheat. And I got this huge pack of wheat for $10 from Marshall's last year. And I still have some left over. So I'm gonna be using this. Next, I measured the halfway point of the circle, which should be 5 inches, and then cut along that line using my hand saw. I started placing the wheat onto the half circle so I can have an idea of how I wanted to glue them down. Once I was satisfied, I glued the wheat down with some hot glue and then cut off the ends. Next, I cut my embroidery hoop in half and then glued it to the back. For this next DIY, I'm going to be making leather covers that go over your candle. Candles are such a big purchase in the fall. For me and for a lot of people, they just really help with like the warmth and the coziness of your house during the colder months. And so I took a trip to Hobby Lobby to find a leather that I liked. And I picked up this reddish kind of brown tinted leather, and it was very unique. It's not something that I've ever seen before. So I got 1/4 yard of that for $4.25. Now I have a Bath & Body Works candle that I'm going to be covering up. I know that this is a very common purchase for a lot of people. Bath & Body Works candles are very popular. So for the Bath & Body Works candle, you'll need 3 1/4 inch by 13 inches to completely wrap it around. So I traced out the measurements onto the leather and then cut it out. The So next you'll need something to create a hole into your leather so that you can lace it or tie it together. Now you can use a actual leather hole punch if you have one, paper hole punch, or a ice pick. So what I'm going to be doing is using a paper hole punch, and these will make larger holes in the leather. If you don't mind that, then that's a perfect way that you can use something that you already have so you don't have to purchase another tool. So I'm going to measure out 3 holes along one side, and then I'm going to punch those out. And once I do that, I'll flip it over, making sure that the corners meet, and then hole punch it through the hole that I already made to make sure that the holes are in the exact spot. There are a variety of different ways that you can lace up your cover. I chose to cut out strips from the leather to use as a lace. This way I didn't have to go out and purchase another item. However, you can choose to use whatever you like to lace up your cover. It's all up to you. That's it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and were able to get some inspiration and some decor styles to use for your home this fall. Comment down below which DIY was your favorite. I think my favorite was the half circle with the wheat coming out of the ends. I don't know, that's just something that is so versatile, and I think I'll be able to use it even after fall is over. But you guys let me know, which one was your favorite? Which one are you trying? DM me, message me, tag me on Instagram if you make any of these. I want to see your pictures. I want to see things that you do, or if you do something differently. If you guys like this video and like DIYs and home decor, then stick around, subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this, and hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I post. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye. You guys, that looks so good. Oh my god.